Yo, welcome to another video. Today is Friday, 24th of October. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Sydney, Australia. We're coming into the summer months now, so yes, looking forward to that. In this video, I want to talk about Socrates. It's really interesting because in his apology, which is ironic because it's not an apology at all. So if you don't know, Socrates is like the founding father of philosophy as we know it today. All the other kind of classical philosophies, the main branches of philosophy, are founded on some of the notions that Socrates taught. And basically he was put to trial in Athens because he was accused of corrupting the youth through his ideas. So he has to address the Athenian people, the Athenian jury, which is all men over 30. And it's really interesting because, you can be put to, the jury can sentence you to death. So you would expect him to be pleading and begging for forgiveness, but he doesn't. He does the complete opposite. So that's why it's ironic that it's called an apology. But it's really interesting because in the apology, he basically says how he will never stop practicing his philosophy. And the most interesting part is he says, you can kill me, but you can't harm me. That's really interesting because when you read someone like Epictetus, he also says something similar. He says, you can harm my body, but not even Zeus can harm my will and my spirit. And so there's this beautiful, empowering idea that we have complete control and agency and power over our will, over our ability to respond to things, no matter your status in life. Marcus Aurelius is an emperor, Epictetus is a slave. Both are equal in terms of their philosophy and their ability to practice reason and respond to situations. And I found that really fascinating because he says you can kill me, but you can't harm me, because letting something harm you, like being hurt by something, is essentially a choice. And Marcus Aurelius, I always remember this quote from Marcus Aurelius. He says, remove the thought, I am hurt, and you won't be hurt. And it's just this beautiful, beautiful idea that in every single situation, we always have our own will. So if you get put in jail, there's no reason to be unhappy about it or cry about it or complain about it. If a girl breaks your heart or a man breaks your heart, there's no reason to be upset by it if you don't want to be. And I find that very empowering. Very empowering. So, there's a lesson that I just want to share in that, something I've been applying in my own life, is no matter what happens, the only thing, no matter what status we accomplish in life or how many possessions we have, the only thing we really own is our will, our reason, and our ability to respond, and our wisdom, which is acquired through experience and through conscious study. And going further, so that's one important lesson that I'm applying in my own life. And going further is also how Socrates, there's a story where he comes across a rock or something. I don't know too much about it, but basically the message on the rock, or wherever he comes across this message, is know thyself. And the kind of takeaway from that message, which I found interesting because I'm reading a book called How to Think Like Socrates, is to meditate and be aware that you're going to die. Meditate on your mortality. And again, like, our mortality, when you think about it, can, I think to most people would be, it's morbid, it's quite depressing. But really, when I think about it, it's quite empowering again. Because it makes things that we think are a big deal at a certain moment in time. In this moment in time, something that we think is a big deal, work, a relationship, something to do with the bank, fucking, I don't know, anything. But when you put it in the context of your mortality and the fact that you're going to die, it becomes kind of inconsequential. But on the other hand, so I'm trying to take our mortality and flip it into a positive way. And this is a cliche analysis of mortality. The positive frame of mortality is it kind of wakes you up, makes you question, like, what am I doing? Am I doing what's good? If I'm going to die, I want to make my life meaningful. And so thinking about how, like, when you think about Socrates, for example, and how he's condemned to death, imagine you're condemned to death. Imagine you had to drink poison and commit suicide, and you had to reflect on your life. What would you want your life to stand for? Who would you want to be, your character? What would you want to achieve? So this is things that I'm thinking about lately as I explore philosophy. So I'll leave the video there. So those are the two things that I want to share today. Is we only ever own our will. People can harm the body, can kill the body. Sorry, they can hurt the body, they can kill you, but they can't harm you. Because being hurt is a choice. Our response is completely in our power. And then our mortality. We're going to die. We are going to die. Put everything in the perspective of that. Alright. Have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next one.